Okay, we're back again here at Competition Engines. Now, customers are constantly asking for videos on bits and pieces we do. So I'm going to do a video right now on our 720 horsepower 434 Cleavor. That's the block there we're looking at. I'm about to assemble the short motor, and I'll just go through all the procedures and the parts that go into this motor. It's a pump gas 9-second motor, this is. It's proven many times to run those sort of numbers. It's a street motor. It can be driven whenever and wherever you like. And we've fine-tuned this combo as we do with all our other packages as we go. So the block starts off with an SHP 9.2 deck block. Now, this particular engine is going in an early Falcon. So a 9.2 is ideal. If you talk 9.5 deck height, very tight in XRs and Ws and Ts and Ys. So maybe XA, B, C. But in the earlier Falcons, the 9.2 deck is ideal for clearance with extractors and removing spark plugs and so on. So much easier to work on in a small engine bay. So hence that's what we use the 9.2 block. Now, with our packages, all our packages, there's a lot of prep that goes into blocks and cranks and heads. You know, you get the imported crate engines, as they call them, where you'll just see a block, removed from the box, cleaned up and put together. And same with the crank, where us and probably many others, or hopefully many others, do all the preparation on the parts and checks that we do. And, the engine becomes a nice hand-built motor, not a production line motor. So pretty much we get the block out of the box, brand new dart block, and we torque plate, bore and hone the bores to size, as you can see in there. Oh, there's my finger, there it is. 2 individual pistons. You might have a piston a little bit bigger or smaller, might be 2, 3/10, might be half a thou, whatever it may be. Then we will individually number pistons to bores. Once we've done that, or before we've done that, we deburr the block. So you can see the effort we go into here to clean up all the castings, modify the drain backs in oil, chamfer, deburr, everything. So then the oil remains clean when it runs through the engine. It hasn't got dirty casting that contaminate oil and so on. So we go right through the block. Any dags we see in the front, the valley, I'll turn it over. See, you get an idea of all the stuff that goes in there. So you can see all the grinding in there, all the loose particles. We chamfer the bottom of the bores. We relieve the galleries because the counterweight on the cranks come close. So this is all from experience. We modify that oil hole for the oil pump. We chamfer the bottom of the lifter bores, as you can see there. We modify the drain backs in the block. We flap a wheel, bullnose the bottom of the bore so there's no sharp edges before we final hone it. So as you can see, there's a lot of work that goes in to these motors, even though it's a brand new block. So once we deburr it, bore hone it, we dummy it, we zero deck the block, we brush all the galleries, we final wash it. Then the block comes into here, the assembly room, and we measure every main tunnel, conrod tunnels, small ends we hone to suit the gudgeon pin. Everything gets blueprinted individually to all crank pins, main pins, so on and so on. Rings get filed, rings get chamfered. So there's days and days of preparation before we even think about putting the crank in or starting to assemble it. In this case, you can see it's blue. We mask up the block and paint it while it's bare. Once you put all the componentry on, the sump, the timing cover, the heads and so on, you haven't got any edges. So you're not just putting it together and just spray paint the whole thing. This way it looks nice, and I'll show you the finished product once it's done. We use genuine dart cam bearings. They're a beautiful coated cam bearing, as you can see there. We use steel gallery plugs, so we haven't put the galleries in this yet. Dart oil pump or oil filter adapter. So all top end quality parts. no Chinese, no Indian, no, this, that, and the other. We don't go there. So that's the block preparation. So heaps of preparation. Then we'll go over to the crankshaft. So in this package, you get an internally balanced crank. Clevelands and Windsors are normally external. So as you can see there, Mallory metal in the crankshaft. 2 slugs in the front and I think 1 in the back. And it's balanced, 0 front, 0 back. So we are internally balanced now. And we do sell these cranks. We have these cranks internally balanced on the shelf as we do all the parts that go into this motor. We go over to the main caps. So like I said, everything's blueprint. So bearings are mixed and matched and Scotch-Brite and so on to get the desired clearance. So they're already now washed to go in the motor. Conrods. So they're our beautiful, famous pistons we sell. As you can see, the skirt's short. It's a custom forging, deep valve relief, metric ring pack. These pistons do not hang out the bottom of the bore like most pistons would and rock and scratch up and damage the bore and so on. These are made or been made for us in the US specifically for this package, and we do sell it as an individual. We can sell the pistons, we can sell a stroker kit too, so on and so on. So the pistons we hand finish, we deburr the top, we Scotch-Brite, we take any sharp edges off, so that's part of this procedure. So again, there's hours and hours of preparation. Runs a scat 6-inch conrod with an upgrade 2000 bolts in this package. So what you can see here is these pistons rods are ready to put in the motor. So they're all numbered, measured to every individual bore, measured to individual crank clearance. They're Scotch-Brited, final washed. Now these rings are fitted and ready to fit into the motor. We'll talk lifters now. So this package, we offer it with Crowler. So we use Crowler Hippo lifters in all our packages. Now, regardless of the manufacturer, a Ford lifter is 874, right? Diameter. So the diameter, in that lifter. Now, as you can see, the lifter on the left is your conventional Ford size, 874. And in this case, we offer this as an upgrade. The customer has picked the 937 lifter. So we have machined the block on a BHJ jig and final honed the lifter bores to suit this lifter and perfect clearance. And the reason we offer that upgrade, if the customer is going to do thousands and thousands of street miles, the advantage of that bigger lifter is massive. And I will show you by turning this around. Maybe I'll do it. It's a bit hard. So I'll show you the normal lifter first. So you can see the wheel. That actual wheel size and diameter, it's a bit hard there. So the wheel is 740 thou. That wheel there is 740 thou, and you can see it doesn't protrude much from the body. So there's the actual size. Now, the upgrade this customer has chosen is this lifter. So automatically, let me try and focus, you can see, it's a bit hard to see, the difference. That wheel is massive. So that wheel now is 840 thou. So it's 100 thou bigger, that wheel. The axle's bigger. There's more roller bearings in there. So that, this will do thousands and thousands and thousands of more street kilometres opposed to the normal lifter. Doesn't matter what manufacturer. So you can see that is a huge upgrade and a huge advantage when you got a roller, mechanical street roller in this case, in a street engine. That upgrade there alone would probably make this engine last forever. And you would never have it in the back of your mind, or you never think that maybe a lifter would go and I've got to, keep an eye on things and so on, which is always seems to be a problem with lifters when you've done thousands and thousands of miles. Being hydraulic roller, being mechanical roller, there is always a possibility that lifter there could fail, or that lifter there could fail in a street application where you're doing thousands and thousands of miles. That's the only weak link in these street engines, and this upgrade fixes that. So we always encourage the customer, if he's going to, have it as a street car, to upgrade to that lifter, which is about the $1,000 mark to upgrade the lifter and the machining of the block. And I'll show you that there. So as you can see there, we have machined the lifter bores there, and we've honed them to size to suit those lifters, which, 1/8 clearance, I think we ended up with this one here. So huge upgrade and definitely a benefit. So keep that in mind if you're ever building an engine and you're going to drive it on the street and you want to make a heap of power. That upgrade is critical in my opinion. Now this engine also comes with T&D rockers, as you can see there. It's a state-of-the-art rocker system, shaft mount rocker system, and that's another key to the puzzle, or a piece to the puzzle, that will make this engine run for years and years and thousands and thousands of kilometres with a roller camshaft. So we'll go over to the cylinder heads now. So that's the cylinder heads there. In this case, they're 225 CHIs with a raised exhaust port, as you can see there. So we do manufacture headers or extractors off the shelf, so we could sell them to you with the package or separately if you're doing your own engine. So again, the amount of work that goes into these heads for this package is huge. So you can see there, we've deburred all the heads, modified them for the pushrod holes, drain backs are modified in the cylinder heads, valve guides are honed, valve seats are done, so we buy them bare. The heads are ported, so we size them accordingly to this engine to go to 7,200 RPM in a 434 cuber, so a great sort of street engine. We don't want to rev it, to 8,000. That's a nice motor that will survive on the street. The valve springs, tool steel retainers, 10-degree locks, REV valves, comp valve springs. Doesn't run much spring pressure, about 520 open. So again, that's all promoting long-term drivability and reliability by running a tamer camshaft to make the horsepower and less spring pressure. So you can see there, chambers, valves, more mods and de-dagging inside there. Surface CC'd individually. So there you go. That's the amount of work that goes into those heads, which again is days and days of porting and modifying, but that's what goes into making a good engine package that will survive and make the horsepower. Now, that's the oil pan you can see there, Moroso oil pan. We have different options. We do ASR in most engines. We do Moroso. We do our own fabricated aluminium for the 8-second sort of combos or low 9-second combos. So we've got different packages. This engine also runs that beautiful Romac Pro Series balancer. It's aluminium outer, steel inner, so it's light. There's the Moroso oil pump pickup for this engine. We run a Torrington bearing roll master set. You can see there, it doesn't run a brass shim, it runs a Torrington bearing. It's a premium timing set. Brand new aluminium timing cover. A premium Melling Select oil pump. Premium gaskets. We don't run cork gaskets and cheap gaskets. We run premium Felpro. You can see there the premium sump gasket, premium valve cover gaskets, CHI intake gaskets, ARP fasteners throughout. So there your oil pump bolts, balancer bolts, head studs, oil pump bolts, Mellings thrust plates, Aeroflow timing pointer, and our custom comp cam street roller, tight lash street roller goes into this engine. The manifold is a 4500 CHI. It's off at the Hydroblast at the moment, so I can't show you this at the moment, that manifold at the moment, but I'll show you once the engine's completed. And that's all port match, plenum's modified. We run a little adaptive spacer plate, so we end up with a big plenum manifold, but a 150 carburetor, our 1000 CFM Pro systems. But I'll show you all that when I'm dynoing the motor. So that's pretty much it. So that's the effort and the parts that go into building an engine. So there's literally a week's worth of prepping, washing, deburring, and assembling engines of this caliber. And there you go. So 434, 720 horsepower, 9-second pump fuel package with the option of the bigger lift upgrade that will make this engine run for many, many years with no problems.